All right, thanks for joining. I'm going to demonstrate what a patch event looks like in a containerized environment inside of OpenShift or using OpenShift. So on the right side of the screen, I have a demo WordPress app set up. It's running live. I want to show you a refresh. Totally running fine, running locally on an OpenShift instance I have. On the left side, you'll notice that I have the back end of OpenShift up and running. And in this, we're in the operations environment, and this is where we're going to do our patch event. Also, while we do the build, I'm going to show you the back end of the application side, which is running in the development environment. And I have them separated into different environments so that you can kind of show how you could do separation of concerns, where developers would live in their own org and build their applications, and operations would live in their own org and they would do the builds for the containers themselves. And I think this also demonstrates that the builds that the operations team do should be transparent, and the work that the developers should do over here should be differentiated. It should change the way the applications work. So we're gonna do a patch event by kicking off a build of the core build. And what you're gonna see is that while this is running, we're gonna see it goes from pending into running, and then it's gonna cascade down to the HTTP PHP build, and then down to WordPress after these finish. We're going to watch the logs while things build. I'll speed up the video so that we can get to the end, but I'll follow the logs and you'll see me click through. Okay, the build is just finishing up. You'll notice it's pushing the image into the internal registry that's running inside of OpenShift. That's this IP here. And when it finishes, it'll say success, and it will trigger a rebuild of the application on the right. Okay, so notice on the right, another pod has been started. We call this a deployment config in OpenShift. So this deployment config uses what are called replication controllers to fire up pods, and it's creating a new pod that's connected to the new image that's firing up the new image, and then it's scaling down the old replication controller, which was using the old image, down to 0. The good part is that you can roll back if you have to, because all of the replication controllers are kept in place, but it allows us to essentially live patch this container. It's as quick as firing up another process and then quickly failing over to the other one. You'll notice that as soon as this is finished, I'll go back to the site and show you that it's okay. So we're now on the new piece of software, and let's do a refresh to make sure that everything worked. So there you go. The site's still quick, still running. The good part, as I mentioned before, is the change was transparent to the end user, right? They don't know that the operations team has went in and patched Heartbleed, for example. But what we actually did here is we did a cascading build. The core build rebuilt, the middleware rebuilt, and the application rebuilt, and then we automatically deployed the new WordPress instance. So that's what patching looks like in an OpenShift environment. Thanks for joining.